chat. We've got video. I think we've got audio. We've got at least a brain and a half between us. Welcome to Talking Heads, everyone. Episode 430, your once-week live show for the latest in beer and tech news. I'm Jeff.
And I'm Tom.
Welcome to the show, everyone. Thank you all so much for watching on this Wednesday night or in podcast form over on Spotify or wherever your favorite podcasts are found. If you've never seen the show before, we talk beer, tech, Homelab, tech, more tech, anything else we're interested in.
Maybe some AI today.
Maybe some AI, yeah. Maybe some crypto. Maybe some...
stupid things that are happening.
Stupid things that I never thought I would have to put certain words in a certain order ever in my life, but here we are.
There's a lot of brand new sentences happening here in 2026.
That is the truth. Thank you all so much for watching. If you like the content we do on this channel, want to help support us, join the Patreon. Link is down in the video description. Patreon.com/craftcomputing. Helps keep the lights on around here, plus gets you exclusive access to my Discord server. You can talk with myself, as well as the other hosts from Talking Heads, and the awesome community that hangs out there throughout the week. There's craftcomputing.store, all of your official craft computing merch, beer glasses, whiskey stones, coasters, all of them laser etched and made right here in-house. One of the most unique YouTube merch stores I think that exists.
I'll go with that.
In my humble opinion. Not that I'm biased at all.
Yeah, not complete.
Tom, how's it going?
Fantastic.
Excellent.
Yeah, I was just showing, and I shared it with the crowd here. So I was at those events that tech people go to, and they gave us these beer things that go around your neck. They're given bottles. This is not ideal for cans, but this was still a great gift. Well, like the handout things, because they put the beer in it and hand it to you. They were because it was called a pub crawl.
Okay, hold on. We got double audio for Tom. I'm trying to figure that out real quick.
Double audio. Uh-oh.
Because I see me, and I see... literally just Tom. Let me...
Robot audio. Ooh.
Yeah, you've got like a... Now I'm not hearing a reverb, so it's got to be something in the Zoom call. So let me check the Zoom call here. No, select a speaker. Okay. I haven't changed crap. So... But man, if something odd was going to break, this would probably be the week to do it. Zoom call? Yeah, okay. That's right, that's right. Let me try that.
Check 1, 2.
Okay. Check that. We're gonna have to wait 30 seconds for chat to respond. Tom, give us a test. See if we're good.
This
there.
is a test. Are we getting a reverb? Which is weird because we've never had this before.
You sound wonderful in my ear. Okay, it is fixed. Okay. So I did change something. There's an app on the Mac that I was using to help with my audio outputs, because I have multiple audio outputs and I use them for a variety of different reasons here on the Mac. And the Mac, for some reason, like 2 or 3 main revisions ago, removed the little sound icon on the taskbar, on the status bar. And so you can't quickly change audio output devices. And I needed an app to help do that so I could change on the fly. And so I downloaded an app, and it worked great for like 6 months. And then latest update of Mac OS, it just stopped working and would constantly crash. And so I deleted that, and I installed an open source version, or an open source app called, I think, Sound Control or something like that. And it's supposed to give you, like, just control over your audio devices. But apparently that was sending 2 feeds. Cool.
Weird.
Yay.
Stranger things have happened.
Yeah. So you got a new gig. What's this new gig I hear of?
Oh, yeah. So it's been kind of this long road. I've known my friends at Huntress for a long time. I knew them before they got reevaluated to be a $3 billion company. That just happened last week.
Nice.
Which is wild. Because when I met Kyle, the CEO, they only had, I think he
he had 8 people working with him.
Yeah,
Like,
that seems to be what I remember.
that's like a
Yeah.
rocket ship. Go from like we're 8 people building a cybersecurity product to we just got evaluated at $3 billion. So it is.
Yeah.
They also are close to 800 people. So
Jeez.
I have seniority over people already. They've hired more people after me. So they're still onboarding them all. But yeah, it's an interesting seeing it from the inside. Like I've known a lot of people there. It's a product we use for a long time. They do cybersecurity and threat hunting. But what makes them different and why I think they're cool people, and some of you that may follow John Hammond know about this, they're extremely transparent. And one of the cool things is you got to type it out and you'll realize why they call them this. It's the detection engineering and little ampersand threat hunting. So type that out and you're like, oh wait, the death team. So there's a lot of little fun in playing words, but basically what they have is a really solid group of researchers who are huge at just poking at things and learning everything. And then they just dump that out in their blogs, even if it's unrelated to the product. And it's something they do. Like, it's what makes them good at what they do is having all the threat hunters. So getting to really see how the team works together from the inside has just been exciting and cool and interesting. And I've also never worked for a company this big because my company was not this big.
Yeah.
So it's interesting. I like it. It's fun. The Slack is the only way they communicate, and it's actually very on point and organized. Because I was thinking that based on my previous company, there's less chatter and noise. There's more focused things, which I didn't expect for this many employees to have that clean and organized of a Slack.
Focused of an approach, right?
Yeah, there's a lot of people, and it's they are a mission-driven company, and you are reminded that every step of the way from training to that. They are on a mission to provide security for all businesses or security for the 99%. Like, they live it, and it's kind of cool because that's like everything is about how do we support the mission. It's just kind of neat when now that I've finished all my training, which powered through a lot of stuff. On a funny note, some of the training and drawings, you think of just normal corporate stuff. Oh no, the person from Aqua Teen who drew the Aqua Teen Hunger Force, that's their animator. He works there.
That's incredible.
I got to hang out with them, and it was fun. And so they also have, I think, 1 or 2 artists from South Park. Because they wanted to say we want to make engaging training, and I'm like, winning. He's done caricatures of people in the place, and
nice.
it's just fun.
That's a good vibe. I like that.
It's a good vibe. I've been happy there. So it's been a lot. I have not posted a lot to my channel because it was a combination of I've been out camping and I had time off I've taken, and then I had started a new job which had travel attached to it. So I was like, it's like I would have gotten more videos out, but like combined of Tom was already traveling, and then the days I wasn't traveling for my personal life, I was traveling for them. So I've been to Texas twice. I've been all over the place.
Yeah.
So it's been fun though.
That's similar to my month. Man, if I can get through the month with no more unexpected expenses, I am going to celebrate. Like no one's ever celebrated before. I haven't been kicked in the balls this hard in a very long time. I haven't posted very many videos either. This morning I posted my first video for the month. I posted a video on March 31st, and then I've done the podcasts.
You exactly the same as I've done. Then.
Yeah,
so, yes.
No, I haven't posted a video in April until literally this morning.
And YouTube punishes us for that.
Oh yeah. Amazingly enough, this is my #1 video by like 2.5 times. Like it is decimating my more recent content, which is great. But in the interim between March 31st and today, my wife was in a minor car accident with our brand new EV9. We had put less than 500 miles on it, and we've already had to go to a body shop, and no one was hurt, no real damage or anything like that. But yeah, I mean, everyone's fine. It was more of an inconvenience than anything else. But okay, there's your insurance deductible, plus you're gonna get hit for having an accident on the record now, and blah 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 blah. Yeah. So that's gonna cost me who knows how much over who knows how long. My Chevy Bolt, 3 days prior to this, the front passenger brake caliper started locking up on me. It had done this once or twice before, where I was driving and I could feel it grab, and okay, that's concerning. But then it like went away for 2 or 3 months. But then all of a sudden it locked up and it wouldn't let go. So took it into a brake shop, paid $400 and some odd for them to do a full flush plus new brake hoses on the front just to make sure that no obstructions. Let's make sure the physical is fine. It turns out the brake control module on the bolt had gone bad. It couldn't regulate the pressure anymore. And so when I applied the brakes, it would just apply the brakes, but then not tell it to release. And so ended up having to go to the dealership, and that was $1,700 for a new brake control module and almost 3 weeks. I've been without my car since I think April 4th. Got it back an hour ago. Like, got back from the dealership about 5 o'clock. So got that done. The video that I filmed this last week, the video that got posted today, I sat down to film that, turned on my camera, tested settings, tested audio, got in front of it, tested focus. Okay, everything looks good. I sat down and read the first sentence on the teleprompter, and my monitor screen goes black. Now, what the crap? Did I, like, not plug in a power adapter? Did I forget to hit record? Like, what are we doing? I go over there, and no, my Sony a7 IV is just straight up dead. Dead as a doornail. No sounds, no error messages, no signs of life whatsoever. So this is going to go to a repair shop in California for an estimated $800 repair now.
How much is a Sony A4? I don't know what they cost.
Used, they're about $1,800.
Okay.
And so that was my thought, is just, do I go buy a used one? No, let's just get this one repaired. It's fine. But this camera is also 4 years old, and like the upgraded version of it, like you can get an FX2, which is this same sensor, but with like a video focused body for like $2,500. And I'm like, well, if I'm going to buy the new camera, I'm going to get the video focused one because I don't give a crap about the photo modes.
Yes, I got an FX30.
Yeah. FX30 was also on my list, but my lenses are built around full frame cameras, not APS-C. And so I have a weird crossover point where I'd have to swap lenses all the time, and I didn't want to do that either. But we're going to get this sent out. I think there's been 2 or 3 other things that have cropped. Oh, we had to get a rental car because we were down both of our vehicles for 2 weeks, and so we ended up spending $700 or $800 on a rental car. Plus, it wasn't even an EV, so we had to pay $170 for gas in the 2 weeks.
Yeah, because you're like an EV family now.
Oh, we're 100% EV with a home charger. Like, yeah, it has been a couple of weeks around this house.
That's not good. Well, I did in between. So this Saturday, my friend's got some acreage, and we had my motorcycles over there. My friend and his son, who's like 13, I think, and he's like rode once. He wanted to ride again, so he rode my Honda, and he got good at it. He got better at it. Then he got confident. Then he wrecked.
Yeah,
we're still trying to add up the damages on the Honda. I can't believe how much stuff he broke on it. Like, we got it all apart today to figure out the damages and made a list. It's a lot.
Pulling things off and they come off in 2 pieces, and you're like, all right, put that one in this pile then.
Yeah.
Yep.
It had bash bars on it, and they are bashed. But then the bash bars were connected to the frame, these like frame bars that connected to the skid plate. All of that, it's all trashed.
Yep.
So it was a lot.
So yeah,
stuff happens.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to May being as uneventful as possible, because
I do have a cup of Joe here.
A cup of Joe, very nice.
That little stout brewed coffee with milk and sugar.
Excellent.
I don't know. It sounded great. It sounds less good now that I'm drinking it. It's not bad. I love coffee. It just feels wrong to have coffee right now.
Yeah.
It's an odd evening drink. So, and I don't really morning drink. I mean, I was going to drink it in the morning just because I want beer for morning.
Right.
I've not. So I decided to grab it. So it's something different. I may or may not finish this beer, and I will grab something different.
Yeah, it's an interesting beer for 9 p.m. I will agree with you there. I do enjoy like a good like nightcap coffee sometimes. But I'm the kind of person who can drink a coffee and then go to bed a half hour later.
Yeah.
It's fine.
I don't think there's any caffeine in this, so not much at least.
Yeah. I am having a Ninkasi Megalodon, one of my favorite heavy-hitting IPAs, 10%, brewed down in Eugene, Oregon. Fantastic, fantastic beer. It makes me feel better about spending literally like $7,000 in unexpected expenses this month.
Unexpected things.
Good Lord.
So
Yeah.
I think your video, I did not watch it, but it's the Intel Arc, right?
Yes. Yeah, the B70 Pro. Yes.
Yeah. How's the support coming along for those?
Swimmingly.
Awesome.
So if you've ever tried to do any kind of bifurcation for a GPU before, you know how freakishly difficult and into the weeds and licensure hell and everything else that you have to get into to make it all work. Long story short, there's still some driver things to work out. The bifurcated GPUs that you pass through to the VMs, those seem to have some scheduling issues. Sometimes they won't clock up in response to load, so they'll sit at 800 megahertz when they should be at 2800. There's a little bit of instability, but also when it works, holy crap, does it work well. And so it needs a little bit of polish, but they're probably about 75% of the way there to making it really, really good. On the host side of things, it's not a proprietary driver. It's a kernel integrated driver that comes with the latest kernel, the 6.17.13 kernel for Proxmox. You make sure you're on the latest version. You automatically have the driver. You send a configuration file in the PCI device bus for the ARC card, just an echo command to put a number into a config file. The default number is 0, and that says, I'm a GPU. If you put in 2, for example, it goes, okay, I'm going to give you 2 SRIOV VFs with half of the memory each. If you put in a 4, it'll go, okay, I'll give you 4 SRIOV VFs with 8 gigabytes of memory each. You can do up to 7. You put in that number, and you're done. Pass the devices through, install the standard driver for the client. That's it. That's all there is.
How are these at LLM work? That's the part I'm a little curious about.
LLM work, they are basically Intel compute. Although Intel has been really touting their one API, which supposedly can run CUDA code unmodified and at basically near native speed of running like an NVIDIA GPU. Now, you have to have access to source to do that. But any open source programs, you should be able to simply compile and then run on the Intel GPU. And so better support than ROCm has for AMD.
Yeah, that's the challenge, because like the AMD stuff's affordable, and they're really pushing it. But actually, excuse me, did they reach out to you? Did a company reach out to you trying to send you an AMD system and talk you into doing some videos for AMD?
No.
Okay.
No.
Their timeline was impossible.
Yeah.
And I flat out told them that because they didn't change the contract, but what they wanted to do was send me an AMD system, really nice, very high-end setup, Threadripper, 64 gigs of RAM in it. But I can't remember exactly which card it is. The card's a few $1,000s. The AMD card is one of their higher-end models.
Probably the MI210. That's been the one that's been circulating around lately.
Yeah. And they want to send it to me and pay me on top of that to do a video. 6 days to complete a whole AI video with a whole lot of demos. I'm like, no. I said, could I maybe? And probably not, though. I'm not that interested in.
Even 3 weeks would be a difficult turnaround time for a project of that scope.
Yeah, because they wanted all these different AI demos and test it and load test it. And I'm like, well, it's fun. I mean, I can do a bunch of inference stuff and load some different open, it was all about what can you host locally on this, and like load up all these tools. I'm like, cool, but man, that's a lot. It's a lot of time and effort put into it. And I finally told him, look, I can't meet your demands, because it kept taking them longer and longer to get the contract over. And I said, you got the wrong date in the contract. Your contract date says you want it even faster than you told me. I said, no, I'm not signing that. Because the whole deal was, if you don't deliver it on time, was you don't get to keep it. And I'm like, well, I get to keep it, and they were going to pay me, but they want a full refund if it's not delivered on the date in the contract. I'm like, well, but they said, talking to them, they seem like nice people, because they said that AMD is really trying to do this big advertising push that you can run this stuff on AMD. So but I also didn't know what challenges I'd run into running it on AMD.
Yeah. With AMD, you have to have LLMs that are specifically designed to run on OpenCL or that are compatible with ROCm, which is their AI and their AI API, whatever. There's a bunch of really good stuff out there, and a lot of LLMs and tools that you can download are multi-mode, and so you can run them on whatever card you have, or get a specific variant of whatever language model you want to run.
I think Olama supports it, and that's one of the more popular ones out there.
Yeah, but using something like LM Studio, you can download whatever packages are compatible with your system and just go, and it works. AMD has reached out indirectly before. If anyone remembers the microcloud that I did on the 4005 Epic, that was actually sponsored through Supermicro by AMD. And so AMD was actually the advertising dollars for that, and why I ended up being able to do that project. So I've done stuff like that before with them, and all pretty good effect. But 6 days, yeah, get out of here with that.
Yeah. It's challenging. I see someone said in the chat there, LLMs run good under Metal. The stuff it runs on great on Mac. So,
yep. Unfortunately, that's the reason I can't find a Mac Mini right now. Is I was considering, before this month happened, I was looking at finally buying a Mac Mini or a Mac Studio, and they're out of stock like everywhere. And I'm like, okay, well, I guess I'll wait a couple more months then.
check the refurbished.
They are gone.
Okay, they're gone there.
There's not a single one. They've been out of stock for like 3 weeks now.
I don't know why they're on there, but there are M5 Pros with 24 gigs of RAM that were on the refurbished list for several $100s off. So I bought one.
Oh, there you go.
I was just like, well, with me traveling a bit more.
Yeah.
And actually, that's the same thing Huntress gives you. It's an M4 Pro with 24 gigs. I was like, yeah, that's a nice laptop. That all the employees get the same laptop. I'm like, this is kind of cool.
That's awesome. Yeah.
But as soon as I got it, I started using it. I'm like, oh, I'm just gonna order me one. This is nice. The battery life on the M5. People are saying it's like an incremental upgrade. It's a noticeable upgrade. I'm actually surprised. It seems that my refurbished M5 lasts more. Quite a bit more, not maybe 15-20% that compared to the one I got that's an M4. But granted, there's a lot more things running. They have all the security tooling on there. I do not run all that because they have like all the Huntress agent and all these don't mess with things tools.
Yep.
There's rules I have on that system. So.
Who knew that working for a security company, you couldn't just YOLO your laptop?
You can't just YOLO your laptop. There is a process. They have like several hundred apps that are available, and you get like your department has like a predefined app, but you can see all the apps. So what you do is you type in a request. If you have a it says justify why you want this app, and they'll give it to you. You just got to tell them why. Yeah. So it's kind of neat how it works. They actually got this really awesome rollout system for it. And if you don't use an app for 90 days, they roll you out of it.
Oh, really?
They don't ask you. They said they used to ask, but they realized the moment you ask people to log in and try to remember why, oh yeah, but I thought I wanted to use that app. But if you just don't log into an app for 90 days, they unenroll you from it. So it's reducing threat risk. Yep. I'm like, this is cool. I got to see how they make all the sausage and secure the sausage.
Nice. Yeah, no, modern mobile device managers for controlling that are freaking great.
Yeah.
I had to, I mean, and I'm sure you did as well for different clients, work on the ground floor of mobile device management for rollouts of like iPads and tablets.
So much
and phones.
more advanced.
And God, that was such a slog in the early 2010s.
It was very clunky.
It was.
It is. Application rollouts and everything else are so much better now.
Yep.
Like they've got it dialed in, and it's kind of cool to see it all like orchestrated well.
Yeah. Nice. Well, speaking of mobile devices, there was a news story that circulated a couple weeks ago about who was it that was it? Oh, that's right. It was the FBI. The FBI got a hold of an iPhone and successfully retrieved signal chats off of the iPhone. Not through the way you might have thought, though. What they did was they pulled up notification history on the device so they could read the full messages that were being received by the phone.
A very clever way to do that.
A very clever way that I'm sure was, as we say, outside scope when you're looking at user protection and things like that. Well, in a welcome bit of news, iOS just rolled out oh great. Gosh darn it. And why are our cameras shifted again? Why does it do this? I mean, let alone the fact that I didn't tell Firefox to be the center of attention right now. There we go. Okay, so at least we got that now.
Yeah.
Stupid cameras. And then I move me and it moves you too. I don't understand this. There we go.
Look at that.
There we go. Hey, we got there. Okay.
I like when we have the shakes there.
Yeah. All right. So in a bit of a surprise move, Apple launched an update for iOS version 26.4.2 that actually patches that workaround. Once a notification has been deleted, it is permanently removed from the device and cannot be accessed. Whether they're assigning it an encryption key and throwing away the key, or they're deleting it and scrubbing it, I don't know. But whatever they're doing, those notifications
really
are gone now.
Purging the cache. So
yeah,
the whole thing is there's a cache database of all your notifications, and I guess it's so you can go back up and click at the top and see notifications you thought you missed, because if you go through in the Mac and clear all the notifications, you can bring them back. And I imagine at some point they're just now doing away with that, and it's probably because of the way notifications sync between all your different Mac devices. That's probably why that exists in the way it does.
Yeah.
Good. I'm glad they fixed it, because I turn all that off personally on my Macs, especially for security reasons. I want no notifications on the main screen.
Yeah.
And that's kind of one of those little things. Like, I don't want anything to pop up, because that's a fun hack when I can't unlock your phone or I can't get this, but I could get messages sent to it and they pop up and I don't have to have it unlocked to read those messages. And well, that's all the goal was, to get there's your reset code set to me.
Yep. Yeah. Text messages is the only thing that come through to my lock screen. Other than that, I can see emails and subjects, but I cannot see context within the email. From the home screen. Discord messages, same kind of thing. I can see a user sent me something in a specific channel, but I get no context of what it is on the home screen. Simply because I don't like shoulder surfers. I don't like, the idea that someone's sitting behind me reading my phone as I scroll. And, let alone for, actual security purposes. It's just, I don't like people. But no, I'm really glad they patched this. And whenever there's talk about whenever there's talk about thwarting law enforcement efforts, if you have nothing to hide, you have nothing to fear. Bullshit.
Yeah. We have we don't stick them on people's computers. Well, unless they're our friends, and we'll definitely do it. But we have this campaign called Lock It Up. This is what we put on people's computers who we find at airports or events where they've left them unlocked. And we name and shame. It was a game, especially amongst all of my techie friends, of you would get tagged. We're all on LinkedIn because of our social things we do. So we make sure we tag the people on LinkedIn who leave their laptops unlocked. And it's a name and shame thing.
Yep.
It's I get very used to it, hitting the. This is super key. I know the finger. I know where my fingers go. I just don't know the name of the Mac key.
Yeah, it's Command Control Q is the lock. Yeah.
Something annoying about Apple, though, they have no way to auto lock when the lid closes. You can add a third-party little script. There's a real easy thing to do to make it do that, but it's not what it does by default.
I thought they did. I don't believe it's in the security settings. I believe it's in the power settings, and you can specify exactly the action that happens when the lid closes.
Yes,
Because there's
it
also
will.
by default, I believe there's like a 30-second timeout, and so it will wait 30 seconds before it locks your machine by default. Although you can set that to be 0.
Yes, but no, you can't set it to be 0 is the part that bothers me.
Oh, really?
That's the part that
You
I
used to
couldn't
be
find.
able to.
I was searching with Claude and it seemed to not know how to do it either, other than it suggested like where to change it with a Lua script or something, and I'm like, oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
So,
Because I've set that before. I think 30 seconds is usually more than fine.
and it's fine.
Yeah.
Because if you close it, it does put it to sleep, but sleep doesn't mean lock, and the lock timer has like the fastest you can set the lock timer to is I think 30 seconds.
Yeah.
So it still locks. It just locks 30 seconds after you close the lid.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I have my like framework when I close the lid gets closed. Now I didn't get a chance to look at the whole framework release notes, but I do know they're making some cool stuff and there's some excitement around the new framework. I don't have any buyer's remorse buying a MacBook Pro because I know it's going to be better, so much better for video editing. But I like a Linux laptop, and
Me too.
My other one is a little bulky because I have the 17-inch one, which I've been enjoying. I play games on it and things like that sometimes.
Yeah.
So, but the small one is nice looking. I just seen some of the previews of comparing it to the MacBook and going, yeah, they built a serviceable slim laptop.
Yeah. The framework Laptop Pro 13 with LP Cam expandable memory. This will be one of the first commercial products on the market with LP Cam. So that's pretty cool.
And they're also building a keyboard. I've seen a few notices about that.
Yes.
They're finally replacing everyone. And I think we were sharing this in a Discord together. We're like, who has that stupid Logitech keyboard? And like every one of us owns it. The Logitech couch keyboard.
Yes.
It's not great, but it's better than most of the other stuff.
Yeah, it's the only thing that has all the features you want that's 80% good.
Yeah. Yeah. The trackpads, I mean,
it's okay.
2x3 inches.
It works. Yeah.
It functions. It shouldn't be this hard. Apple does get some things right. Like humans like big trackpad.
Right.
Seems like an easy ask, but boy, over the years, it seems like the PC world is like, no, this can't be true. Sony's made a couple laptops that I've owned that had big trackpads.
Yeah.
But outside of Sony, and only a couple certain models, it's pretty much like it took forever for big trackpads to come to the PC world.
Yeah. Yeah. It's really funny how we think we have computers figured out. We think we have ownership over the paradigm and use cases and everything else. And then someone goes, I want to use this for my couch and I'd love a keyboard and mouse. And we can't figure out the ergonomics or the usability about how to do that. Logitech, of all people, has come the closest. And no shame against Logitech. I love Logitech. Usually when I buy mice that's not a trackball, it's a Logitech. But they're the best one that's out there as far as like a couch combo, and it's still garbage. It's the best garbage, but it's still garbage.
The best garbage. I use it, I think, the same way a lot of us other YouTubers use it. We're always setting up systems, and I'm looking at my bench over there where it sits because I set up a system and it's just convenient if I'm plugging a monitor into it. I've actually tried to force myself to use all those different KVMs, and I'm to the point where I pretty much just go with the KVMs now. So I have a couple GLI ones. I've got the Comic KVM. I think there's only 2 I have right now. I had a couple other ones, but I gave them all away to my friends. I'm down to those 2.
Yeah.
Although, did you see, or did you even talk about a couple weeks ago when they found all those flaws in the KVMs?
Where did we talk about that? I don't remember.
I can't remember if we did or not. But the part that drives me a little buggy here is it made its rounds in the news.
Yeah.
Did you know there was an unsigned? You could man in the middle the GLI because they would accept a unsigned firmware.
Yeah.
Okay, who cares? Like I get it, fix it. But it's not the end of the world. They're making a big deal out of some of these problems.
Yeah.
By the way, Dell Enterprise with their high-end multi-manager, CVS score of 10 for embedding credentials. Like, you're finding certificate potential issues if someone wanted to rewrite a firmware and man in the middle the download of my GLI, which would be a pretty good, relatively complicated undertaking to be able to pull off this versus Dell. We're like, I think the enterprise stuff is worse than this $99 KVM I have.
Yeah.
Like, Dell's like, we kind of embedded the credentials.
Yeah.
Root and Kelvin has entered the chat.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't like when CVEs get all of this massive attention and freak out for when they require either physical access or capability beyond physical access. Yeah. I always assume if you have access to a device, nothing I can do can secure it. Versus like, oh, we got a remote code execution up and going, or we got, privilege escalation, or those are need to know things. Hey, some malicious actor could write a custom firmware and physically install it onto your KVM via an unsigned gateway. Dude, if you're in my server room, it's game over already. Like, that's the least of my worries.
Yeah, it's those things. Like, I mean, someone has to, recompile it, insert some nefarious thing, hijack my DNS so I pull the wrong download and load the unsigned binary.
Yeah.
I mean, you've put some effort into it. And I'm not saying, and they actually, to their credit, GLI is like, yeah, we'll fix that.
Yeah.
Just an oversight. No big deal. And it wasn't, because of the complexity of it. But here's I just don't like how much news that got and how little news the Dell Enterprise stuff got. Like, Dell, the company that's in a lot of server rooms, has a CVS score of 10. Mm-hmm. Like, this isn't good.
Dating back years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we know no one updates the firmware. That particular piece of the firmware, I should say, doesn't get updated very often in the enterprise space.
Yeah.
No one's updating that lights out management stuff. Sorry.
Yeah. Did you see this story? This wasn't even in the notes, but this came up when I was searching for KVM. I did see this a couple of days ago. 2 U.S. nationals sentenced for facilitating fraudulent fraudulent IT workers from North Korea, and basically getting these workers jobs and then these workers transferring $5 million in funds back to North Korea. The way they did it was by putting KVMs stateside and having the workers remote into a local box and then like RDP to another box with a KVM that they could access locally. And so all the traffic appeared to be domestic.
That is great.
Yeah.
I am pulling another one up for you. I'm going to send it real quick here. Because I didn't put this in there, and I think you're going to laugh because it's kind of related. I think you can pull it up this way. Let me see if that link clicks. It should be public.
Oh, yeah. There it goes. Okay. Copy. There it is.
But
got it.
Not often do we get to include a Florida man joke in our tech world. So basically, your usual Florida man story is steals a generator around an alligator farm, throws iguanas through Wendy's drive-thru. Those are normal Florida man stories. This one is became a ransomware negotiator so he could tell the threat actors exactly how much insurance they had and extract it out of the victims. Yeah. Florida man has evolved. And that literally, the DOJ took full opportunity. There's a link to the Department of Justice's thing in there, and it does say a Florida man. And it did. I love they started it out that way. They didn't start out with his name. They started out a Florida man.
A Florida man, which is the most accurate news.
Yes, has been indicted for operating ransom for negotiating on behalf of the ransomware people. And I was like, Florida man. We've moved into the tech crime space.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it got some traction on LinkedIn because everyone was amused as I was by it.
All right. Well,
it's a way to make more money. you're on both sides of the fence that way.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
They pay you to negotiate. You negotiate on behalf of the ransomware people.
It's like having the same lawyer as your insurance agents.
Pretty much. Pretty much. Before we get too far, is there an ad we have to read?
I was literally just going to transition to that.
All right.
Exactly.
I figured that's where we're going.
Yeah.
Talking about money and paying the bills.
Hey, it's exactly right. Speaking of Florida, man, and paying the bills by all means necessary, we do have a sponsor today, and that is, of course, Meter. Why is my Meter not playing? Gosh darn it, OBS. Ugh.
Your internet has been metered.
It has been. What in the heck? Will it play now? Will it play now? Will it play now? Come on. It's playing in my OBS preview window, but it is not playing on the... What the heck? Oh, there it goes. Hooray. Oh, why are you...
This is great.
What is going on? Hold on. We'll get there. There we go. I don't know what's going on. Cool. If only I had someone to handle all of my IT needs for me, maybe this could be a lot easier. Hey, that reminds me, today's episode is sponsored by Meter. While I enjoy tinkering with my Homelab and all my networking equipment, if you run a business, you've probably got better things to do with your time. And that's where Meter comes in. Meter delivers an all-in-one networking stack that bundles everything you need into a single package, including high-speed wired and wireless networking, power delivery, firewall and routing, and even cellular, all in a single integrated solution that's built for performance and scalability. Meter handles everything from designing a custom network for your business and will even negotiate with your local ISPs to get you the best rates on internet connectivity. All of that shows up in a single cloud-based dashboard, giving you clear visibility into every layer of your network. You get the connectivity your business needs, all for a predictable monthly or annual cost. Meter ships the hardware you need today and will automatically upgrade your hardware as time goes on, ensuring your users and your business always have the tools and connectivity they need. Whether you're starting a new business, expanding to new locations, or simply modernizing an aging network, let Meter take care of the hassle for you. Visit meter.com/craftcomputing to book a demo today and see what they can do for your business. Again, that's meter.com/craftcomputing, and a huge thanks to Meter for sponsoring today's episode.
There we go. Look at that.
As I said on a podcast yesterday, I'm a gosh darn professional.
That's what matters.
That's right.
A little bit of professionalism. Oh man. You know what though, that my goal for this year, 'cause I'm doing another camping trip this weekend, and that's been my whole goal, is to try and camp almost every weekend.
Nice.
Going somewhere. Yeah. I think it's been better because I come back so much more refreshed now. That's
yeah.
So I can read these ads better. I can.
I had to say, 3 weeks of not being in front of a camera outside of like podcasts, it's weird to get back into it. Like, okay,
it was.
Yeah.
I recorded my long Ubiquiti video of deep diving into the Ubiquiti camera systems, and there's so much in there, and I didn't even cover 100% of it.
Yeah.
I left some of the little details I don't think people care about as much, but man, it's like when you sit down and start recording, like, oh yeah, this is, yeah. And that, what, not being in front of the camera. Now, I was in front of people because I was speaking and doing stuff.
Right.
It was funny because I love this. So we call them, they do these like business peer groups, and then we present in front of them. So I gave the presentation and, answering, doing some Q&A with all these big companies and everything else. And then someone says, "Aren't you new to Huntress?" I was like, "Yeah, this is my third day." And a couple people started laughing. Like, "You did that really good for your third day." I'm like, whoa. I was also on the other side. I said, I've used this product now for like 9 years.
Yeah.
I said, yes, I can do the presentation. I said, because I actually used it. I'm like, oh, okay. Now we get it. Because they're like, you know a lot for only being here a couple days.
Boy, Ryan knocked it out of the park with that hire. Holy crap.
Yeah. Oh, man. It was fun. Fun.
We did have a super chat a little bit ago. Green Protagonist sends over $5. Thank you very much. I lied to you all. I'm actually just Tesla P4s in a trench coat. there were jokes aside from the from my Intel B70 video, because I did get one solid test that ran at like bare metal speed with 4 VMs at the same time. One of them was running Heaven, just Unigine Heaven on all 4 machines, and it scaled beautifully. The other was I got 3D Mark Firestrike, so 3D Mark standard benchmarking tool, to run with the other 3 VMs running copies of Heaven. And we wound up with a graphics score that, when you multiply it by 4 plus the 7 to 10% loss for being virtualized and, you know, IOMMU and all that kind of stuff, it made sense bare metal wise. And so it was a score of about like 11,800. And Green Protagonist said, how does that compare to the Tesla P4? You know, the beloved, you know, low profile card that you can unlock vGPU with. And as it turns out, a P4 is almost exactly 1/4 of a B70, and almost for the same power utilization as well, because a P4 is about a 65 to 70 watt card when it's running at full tilt. The B70 is about a 280 watt card when it's running at full tilt, and when split into 4 VMs or running the P4 to 1 VM, the scores were identical. It was 11,800 and change. And so if you want an Intel B70 but can't afford one, go buy yourself 4 Tesla P4s and just throw them into a box. It's the same thing.
Yeah. Now, when we were at 45 Drives at the Creator Summit, was it it was an Intel, but was it the B70 Wendell was demoing?
No, that was the Flex 170.
Flex 170.
Yes. Okay. So that was the previous generation Intel card based on Intel Alchemist. That was their first generation discrete GPU product. The B70 is Battlemage. It is their second generation product.
Got it.
And one big differentiator as well is the Flex cards required proprietary drivers. They were still license free, but they basically required compiling from source if you wanted to implement them into KVM or Proxmox or whatever your hypervisor happened to be. With the B70, it is a kernel integrated driver. You install the OS, you put the card into it, you say, I would like 4 virtual graphics cards, please, and then you can pass them through to VMs and you're done. And then on the VM side, you install the Intel client driver. And that's it.
How much does that card run?
About $950, about $1,000. But 32 gigs, roughly on par with like an RTX 5070 as far as like raw rasterization performance goes. It's a pretty good deal. And 32 gigs, it's the cheapest 32 gigabyte card on the market.
Yeah, because the AMD one is 24, not 32 gigs. And
right.
So maybe as I've been trying to decide to finish off my local LLM build, I need to figure out what card. And that card was on my list, but I hadn't really tested it. And I seen your video come. I'm like, oh, I'll make a note of that.
Yeah. I didn't do any AI testing, but I've heard some pretty decent things about it. I might dive into that in a future video if I get time. Yeah, I mean, as far as like splitting into VMs and doing VDI stuff, man, if they can get the drivers on the client side to clock up properly, I think it's going to be dynamite.
Because my thing I'm looking for is less speed and more larger models with higher context windows. That's the thing that matters to me, because I can deal with some of the stuff being slower because I'm building some of the automations. I want to play with the new thing Wendell built, and I've played with some OpenClaw, but all of those things, I don't care about the speed. I don't want it to be, I mean, it's nice if it's fast, but it's not the driving force.
Right.
The driving force is give it a task, and at some point bring me back the information from that task.
Yeah.
And that requires a good sized model and context window to be able to do so. Therefore, I need larger memory is going to give me more of the result I want. If it's a little bit slower, but I save money because obviously it's really fast on a 5070, but it's also way more expensive. So
right.
I don't want to spend that kind of money on it.
Yeah. Yeah, but
Or 5090.
yeah, but $1,000, 32 gigs of RAM, and out of the box SRIOV support. So if you wanted to run, a couple 16 gig, VFs inside of virtual machines, if you wanted to pass them through,
that's a cool feature too.
Exactly. Yeah. This is potentially, I said in the video, one of the most disruptive graphics cards I've ever seen launch, if the drivers get worked out.
Yeah. 32 gigs under $1,000.
Yeah.
It is, if they can sustain that, because I don't have the article in our list, but you've probably seen the news on this, that they don't think the memory shortage is solved until 2027 now.
Oh no. I've been hearing 2028.
Yeah. It keeps getting pushed out further. It's not this year.
Yeah.
It's not next year now. It's like, well, yeah.
I talked to a lot of vendors behind the scenes, and there were stories a couple of months ago about hard drive vendors selling out their stock until 2028, and most memory vendors are in the same boat. This is according to anonymous sources from Craft Computing, so take whatever grain of salt you want with this, but
yeah. I talked to a few executives at RSA, and
2028. That's the number that's been thrown around. Oh, and by the way, the last I heard from one of these vendors is they are taking orders for Q2 2028 right now.
Yeah. So we're in a situation.
Yeah.
That's the other reason when I seen the MacBook Pro on sale, and I'm like, I know my Mac Studio is solid, and other than it's unobtainium now, I can't buy another one, as you pointed out.
Right.
But I'm like, I'll grab the M5 because, one, if anything ever happens to my studio, it just does like your Sony camera does. But at some point,
it was recording. I got the first 5 seconds of that clip on the SD card, and then it just died.
It just decided it's going to give up the ghost.
Yeah.
But as I thought about selling off some of my hardware because it's worth so much right now that I'm not using all of it, but I'm kind of like, maybe I hold on to it because it sounds like if I give it away, I will not be able to acquire it again. So I picked up that Mac the MacBook Pro M5 with 24 gigs of RAM. I think it was $1,680 with a terabyte drive in it. It's not insane.
That's pretty good.
And it's so fast. Like, for getting the editing stuff done, it's like, man, it's just butter on this.
Yeah.
It's not as fast because I have the M4 Max on the studio side, but just the Pro. I didn't go the Max model. Those are not on the refurbished list right now. That's another $1,000 for the Max, but I'm not that worried about the Max.
Right. I have it on good authority that Apple is going to be fairly immune from the memory crisis for probably at least the next year. And the reason is they negotiate their volume buy in October of every year, whereas most vendors negotiate in March. And so Apple has a contract with memory vendors that was good for October pricing. And that October pricing is good for whatever the term of their deal is. Versus a lot of companies are renewing their deals like now. And so they're getting now pricing for the next 2 years. So Apple's probably in a pretty darn good situation as far as being able to hold their prices steady because they're not going to be nearly as impacted by memory increases as everyone else.
Yeah, but it's also very inventory based.
Yes.
They predict very well how much they need, but I think things like OpenClaw have tipped the scales for what volume of purchases will happen.
That's why Mac Minis are out of stock right now. That's why Mac Studios are out of stock. The headless desktops that you can just set somewhere and run an OpenClaw instance or whatever. Those are what have been flying off the shelves right now. And unfortunately, Apple also knows how many they're going to make in a certain time frame. And if they sell out of those, they sell out of those because they're not going to sacrifice their other products to recoup a Mac Mini. Bearded IT guy, we know him. Bearded IT dad sends over $10 super chat. So question for both of you: have either of you figured out any AI automations in your content creation? I've been trying to figure out ways I can leverage AI automations more than basic AI tools. From an LLM sense, no. I will use an LLM on occasion to ask it what tone I'm presenting hey, is my tone too aggressive? Is it too polite? Is it too this? Is it too that? Because it does a really good job of doing that. But I've mentioned this before. When I'm writing a review for a product that technically doesn't exist yet, because I'm before a press release or anything else, the LLM has no information on how to write that article, or what information is correct and what isn't. And so outside of basic structuring, it can't help me write. I can't really do anything with image generation either, because it's not going to create a flowchart for me. It's not going to create content that goes into my videos. It's not going to... I refuse to use it for thumbnails, because I refuse to click on any AI generated thumbnail, touched up or not. I've looked at integrating some of the video editing tools that DaVinci Resolve has right now. Tom, I know you integrate some of the motion flow stuff and whatnot. I've used the transcription a couple of times. That's been mostly a miss for me, unfortunately. It hasn't done a great job putting the breaks where I actually need them to be. And so while it does like dice up my clips into sentences, it ends up cutting off the first half of a word of everything. So I have to go to every single clip and expand it by a half second to get the actual starting and end point of a clip, which is just more work than listening to the damn clip and making the trims manually in the first place. Yeah. So
it's good for cutting out the dead space with the transcriptions, but because I do mostly tutorials, I have a little bit different take on some of the LLMs. They can be helpful. They also can help because they output Markdown. When I'm doing the accompanying write-up, they seem to do a nice job of that function. They're not 100% accurate on it, but it gives you a good framework to work from. So I can say, build me the write-up of how to do these steps, and it'll at least write them all out. Then when I validate the steps, I'm like, oh, I just make the minor corrections needed. Yeah. So now, shockingly, I finally have got Opus 4.6 and Claude able to take the transcripts out of the time-stamped transcripts out of DaVinci, so your standard Netflix style export. You export them, put them in the Claude, and then it will do the chapter markers. If you say, create me SEO chapter markers on this video, and it does a really good job on those. Nice. So but by the way, Gemini sucks at it, and so did ChatGPT, and I'm not talking about the free versions. Both of them I tried. I didn't mind paying money. I was disappointed with the money I paid.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, unfortunately, no. I haven't found really good time-saving things outside of the normal tools that we would use in Photoshop or DaVinci or anything like that. There's nothing that has made my writing easier, because I'm not writing about a topic that existed before it left my brain. So it can't help me with context. It can't help me with information correction or anything like that. Even flow, I don't think it does a very good job helping me like organize my thoughts. I'm very storytelling driven when I'm doing reviews. Here is this product. Here's a brief history on this product. Why does this product potentially matter? Okay, let's get into the testing. Let's get into this. But everything on that is based 100% on my results that don't exist anywhere else. So it has no context on which to base any output.
Yeah, and I only write a script for my intro. That's it. I do the first 30 seconds of my videos are the only parts that are scripted. Everything else is free form tutorials mostly. Yeah. And part of the challenge that even AI has is I'm creating tutorials that didn't exist. That's why I'm creating them. There's not another spot that walks you through as good as I do that True has permission set up. That's actually tomorrow's video, because I haven't done one in 3 or 4 years. Well, here's a confusing part. I don't know why. So I did it on TrueNAS 22, but I always, I say the latest version available. I say that right at the beginning of the video. YouTube says that video is from 2 years ago. It is not. That is from 4 years ago. But the little thing on the bottom says it's a 2-year-old video. But I know that I have a date in the name of the file that tells me it was done in 2022.
Yeah.
So like I uploaded in 2022, but the the description, not what I see from my YouTube studio, which tells me the right year, but if you find that video, the YouTube description says 2 years ago.
Weird.
And I don't know why. It's definitely from 2022.
Yeah. Weird.
That's because I state that in the video, and it's so. That is, I've noticed it because a couple people said that my videos were newer than they were, and I'm like, I haven't done a video on that in years. They're like, you did one last year. I'm like, no, that it does say that when you search, but that is not accurate.
Weird.
Then one of them said I did 6 months ago, and I realized someone just re-uploaded my video, and I was like, oh yeah. So,
PC Archive sends over $5. Thank you very much. Went out and touched grass for a month. Now I'm completely lost. About to spend a weekend catching up. Always enjoy you two. Well, thank you very much. Unfortunately, if you were gone for a month, you haven't missed any of our videos because neither of us have posted a video in April yet.
Yeah. Well, there is exactly one video from each of us for you to catch up on.
Yeah.
Besides our live streams. So
yeah,
I stay committed to the live streams because maybe I'll do more of them. I don't know. I don't think it's great for my channel if I just did a bunch of live streams and riffed about stuff.
Yeah.
But I like doing it because it's way easier.
Yeah, I love doing live streams. This is the reason I've done it for 7 years now. Like, they're fun. They're engaging. They're community building. They're doing exactly what I need to do to build a solid base for my channel. Unfortunately, they don't get the viewership that helps accelerate that momentum. But I've always liked the grow slow and steady and organically anyway. Like, when I need to be discovered, I'll be discovered. And I am pretty well known on certain circles of the internet, and I'm happy with that. So
yeah, it's the same thing. I have the regulars that follow my live streams, and I was just looking because I'm on my next live stream tomorrow is going to be 485, and we're at 440 here.
Yeah.
So yeah, or 430 here.
I wasn't going to correct you. You gave me a better number.
Yeah. But we started doing these roughly the same time.
Yeah.
So we're only about a year apart.
Right,
so
exactly.
40 weeks is roughly a year.
Yep. Yeah, and I guess the full nerd is also like 417 or something like that. So they're right behind us as well. Adam and Will Smith and all them over there. So yeah. Cool. Colton says, same. I haven't really found any time-saving use cases yet, not for lack of trying, but it never gives me anything I like. Yeah, and that's exactly it. Like, I've tried. One thing I did do was last year at Computex, I talked about this. Supermicro wanted me to do a series of videos on some of their new hardware. And and unfortunately, all of it was like, hey, here's this chassis and here's the specs. But it's like, if I'm doing 4 videos, I don't want to do the same video on the same tone, the same timbre, the same rhythm over and over again. How can I mix this up? Here's the subjects that I need to cover. How can I go about covering them in a different order? And so I did have it pitch me like different intros and things like that, and then different orders of talking about things. I still took that input and wrote my script around that framework, but AI did not write that script. I wrote that script. So yeah, it's hit.
I use it for, so I have a skill in Claude. You use Claude at all?
I do not, no.
Yeah. The way Claude works is interesting because you build skills. All skills are prompts, like predefined prompts. And they're kind of cool because they're living, because you call the skill and then you start telling it what to do. But then if it does something you don't want, you're like, hey, update the skill because you're doing this thing and I don't think you should do this thing. And it notes in the skill. And the skill's just this text file, which is kind of cool. You can download them out and you can use them in prompts in other systems if you want, if you ever want to export them on a Claude.
Yeah.
So I have a skill called shitposting. That's how I generate my LinkedIn stuff. But it takes a lot of tuning because it's got so much of me in it. So you have to, it's one of those, you get what you put into it. You have to put a decent amount of effort to make it useful.
Yeah.
But if you looked at what I'm using it for, a lot of it's for some social posts. Sometimes it's for validation and context. I'll see someone post something and I'm like, I think they're wrong about that. But let me dive into the post and I'll say, hey, research these topics on there. But there's also a skill I have for research of, I only want short answers. Don't hype me up. Don't tell me how great I'm doing or this is a good idea. I don't want to hear any of the platitudes.
Yeah.
Cut those out.
I know I'm brilliant. I don't need to hear it from you too. Okay.
Don't need to hear it from you. And among the prompting that's in there for how it defines me is I'm a longtime expert who will still sometimes ask for the Eli 5 version of things. So, because it used to criticize me for asking a basic question, but I wanted to validate like the way the command worked.
Yeah.
And yeah, so it will criticize you. I remember it saying something along those like, for a longtime Linux guy, you ask a lot of basic questions. I'm like, screw you, dude. Screw you. Like, you're not going to ask this anymore. That's how we're solving this now.
That's amazing.
You're not off to me. That costs some tokens.
That is the Pulp Fiction conversation where they're in they're in Quentin Tarantino's house and it's like, oh, this is some gourmet coffee. Like he goes, yeah. I know it's good because I bought it.
Yeah.
I don't need to hear it from you.
Yep. Yeah, I've gone on rabbit holes on it. Fun use I had for it today. When we were taking apart my motorcycle in my friend's garage, there are bent parts that I don't know what they're called. And so I described the bent parts that I'm like, I don't know what they're called. And I was shocked that Gemini, which is my usual go-to for my generic questionings because it's built into my phone, Gemini made a complete Honda parts list for all the stuff we broke and gave me the Honda OEM numbers and even told me the name of the things that I didn't. And I'm a motorcycle. I just don't know what these little bars are called that are they're wrecked. And I'm like, there's a skid plate. I said, it's a bracket that holds the skid plate.
Yeah.
Because I looked up skid plate and it didn't have brackets. I'm like, okay, so the brackets are sold separately. But if you type in skid plate bracket, it does not find it. But it found the Honda had a weird name for like skid bar or something like that. Either way, the skid bars, and it gave me the part number for each
lower
one.
motor mount engine protection plate, kind of mounting bracket.
Like but it made a whole parts list for all the crap we broke, and I'm like, this is great. You can even send it pictures of it, and it knew what it broke. It's like, oh, that's one of these. We're just taking pictures of stuff. It was very helpful.
Nice.
But there's a finite amount of time before this becomes not helpful.
Yeah.
And the reason why is because what it has done is I belong to several Honda forums for motorcycles. Forums, not Reddit, not Facebook Market or Facebook groups or anything like that. And it's built a good index of all those. So other people with the same motorcycle, there's enough chatter. That's where you'd find this if you went to Google it. The problem is if we stop posting the stuff to the internets, and there's a new motorcycle with a new name and a new part, LLMs will not be able to find it because that's not getting indexed anymore because no one is putting the data out there. So that is kind of a dumbing down I think we have that I fear will happen in the long term with the LLMs.
Yeah.
They have no more data to consume. They stop the human knowledge at the point of consumption. I mean, if we're not building more forums or building more places to put things, it doesn't have any more data to consume to be able to figure out what the next widget is.
Yeah. Yeah, if you think of how these LLMs have been trained, it is by user-generated input. And if users are simply they're not going to Reddit or forums anymore to get their answers, they're going to the LLMs, there's not going to be any more conversation about things that the LLM can train on. Yeah.
It's a weird loop when you think about it, because it's people are not using forums like they used to. Reddit is of limited value. And there's someone who asked a question like, hey, I wrecked my motorcycle too. I don't know what this doodad is called. And some guy who works for Honda dealership goes in there and posts, that's OEM part number, blah, blah, blah.
Yep.
And just fun times.
Yep.
What does the future hold? That's how the bubble pops, by the way.
Yes.
Is I seen a few people. It was a post on Reddit. I think it was in Reddit. Our sysadmin. My company ran out of tokens, and it's only halfway through the month or something like that. It was a fun post because
Well,
they're all,
sounds like you better learn how to do your job.
yeah, pretty much. That's the companies are really ratcheting up what that usage costs. Even Claude just removed some of the things from their lower paid tiers and moved them only to the upper tiers. And token usage is real aggressive now. Like,
Yeah.
I burned some tokens on some dumb things. So
For some reason, I have the phrase in my head, I vibe coded everything and I'm all out of ideas.
yes. Well, let's just say me and my friend had this idea, and his wife was not amused. We were all camping, and well, we were camping, but we still had internet access where we were.
Yeah.
So we were trying. Well, my friend asked, if I fart in a sleeping bag, does it change the thermal protection properties? So we end up in this whole rabbit hole of how much methane has to occur in a sleeping bag before it changes. It turns out methane does not hold heat the same as normal air mixture.
Correct. Yeah.
So we
Nitrogen
spent a lot
oxygen
of
mixture is
tokens.
different. Yeah.
My friend's wife is just looking at us. She goes, "You two idiots!" I'm like, "This is what LM's for." Like, it broke down the volume of air in a sleeping bag and how much you'd have to replace with methane and how much you would have to eat, what foods you could eat to eventually do this to change the thermodynamics of your sleeping bag. And we're like, it's both science, nerdy, and a fart joke all wrapped in one.
This is
what
great.
LMs are for.
Yeah. This is need to know information. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm waiting for your paper to be published, honestly.
Yeah, we're gonna work a paper on this.
Yeah.
But just simply put, methane does not hold the warmth quite as well as you think.
Yeah.
That was the conclusion of all this.
It would have a lower specific temperature than nitrogen would. Yeah. Which, for those that don't know, our atmosphere is about 70% nitrogen.
Yep.
So
it conducts thermals differently.
Yeah.
The LLMs did the math for us. This was a great. We were doing this for far longer, and the questions they got really off topic, but we stuck at it.
I love this.
There may be a volume of drinking involved for this too. So.
Well, you're of a certain age. You will understand this reference. Orange Whip? Orange Whip? Orange Whip? 3 Orange Whips. Yes. I had this one on the show a couple of weeks ago, and I had a can left, and so we're Orange Whip, Matchless Brewing Hazy IPA called Whipped, and it's just great. I also read the description a couple weeks ago, but I want you to hear it too. Descriptors: oranges and Cool Whip. It's spelled out. It's great.
Oh, that's nice.
And it makes a very nice looking IPA. So
I see people posting their Cool Whip.
Mm-hmm. They did the math, gassy, science. Yeah. How much do you have to fart to compromise your fire safety close to a campfire? Methane is heavier than air, and so it would propagate near the ground, but it would also be pushed out and likely circulated with convection next to a campfire. And so it would either burn up as it approached the campfire. You'd never get a concentration point from flatulence that would not just convex and burn off naturally. That's my theory. In an open environment, all things being equal. In a closed environment, number one, you shouldn't have an open flame.
Right.
But number two, it would be way more than you could ever generate. Was it Mythbusters who tested? Yeah, they did. This was an early episode. It wasn't around methane, but it was around CO2 in a jail cell. Because if you put someone in solitary confinement, you close the doors and the windows and you barricade them in, at what point does the CO2 that you're breathing out become deadly within a small environment? And so they put themselves into, yeah, there you go.
I track this.
Right. So they put themselves into a cell for like 8 hours and measured CO2 levels as they existed within the cell. And that includes both the exhaled CO2 as well as bodily discharges.
Yeah.
So the answer is never.
Yeah. The CO2, it's not deadly, but thank you, Jeff Geerling. He's the first one I remember pointing this out. So when he built his studio, he had closed off the vent that was circulating air in there. And he didn't realize, but he said he was feeling tired and things like that. And what happens is the CO2 concentrations get up over, this one's got a little indicator there. It's at the 2,000 or 3,000 concentration when it gets to red. Yellow is where OSHA does not approve.
Yes.
So I keep an eye on that here because I built a sealed studio and I was like, oh,
yeah,
how high this gets. And
I'm in a daylight basement, sealed studio, one single vent with no exhaust. Same thing.
Yeah. So I keep one of those things. Aranet, ARANET makes the best sensors out there, hands down. Google all you want.
They do for now.
Well, yeah. I don't think you're measuring CO2 yet. All right.
something roadmap.
All right, there we go. Until Jeff comes out with the CO2 sensors, if you need one today.
Yeah, if you need one today, don't look at me. I'm still boxing up OpenViro units at the moment. But CO2 measuring is 100% on our roadmap.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
It's something that I didn't know because I live in America. And if you live overseas, it turns out, and the AirNet ones are made, they're from the EU. The reason why is it's common in the EU. I was told by someone in England that it's a requirement that when the inspectors come and do the inspection, they regularly check your CO2 levels to make sure that your establishment has proper circulation.
Yep.
We only do that for very large buildings. The threshold, I think, is like 4 stories and bigger. It's much larger here in America before that's even a factor.
Yes.
But in a small building, it's not a factor at all. And I learned this from my European friends. Who are like, that's not a thing there. You don't have to check that. And I'm like, no, because we were talking about my building at the time I was in. And I was like, no, not part of the inspection.
Yep. Yeah, we don't even require radon in most places, which we should.
Yeah. Yeah, we do not require. Well, I did not. I had to add last year the radon mitigation. That's this box that's sitting here because I got curious.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, look, that's on sale. I'll buy that. I wonder if there's a radon problem in my house. There is not now, but there was.
Yeah.
I was apparently irradiating myself for the first 2 years I was here.
Yeah. No, we have a daylight basement. So we are 5 foot below grade here in the basement. And I'm surrounded by between 6 and 12 inches of concrete on 5 of the 6 walls. And so it's a lot. And yeah, we should be worrying about radon a lot more than we are. How many IT departments ended up in basements? I mean, that's the whole premise of the IT crowd.
They're all in the basement.
Yeah.
It's where they put us IT people. No respect. No respect at all.
Well, they think we're lizards anyway, so might as well evolve.
Lizard people, something like that. I do need to grab another beer, though. I managed to sip my way through a cup of Joe.
Well, there you go.
Would not do it twice.
Okay.
The next beer I'm grabbing is not this one.
Okay. If it was 9 a.m, what's your verdict?
I would say it's okay, but I'm a black coffee drinker.
Okay.
And I did read the label. It says and milk and sugar. I do not do milk and sugar.
Okay.
Here.
Yeah.
So that little milk and sugar add-on.
I'm a 12 to 16 ounce coffee with like an ounce of cream. I don't do sugar, but I do like a little shot of cream.
I used to. I just went black one day and decided I'm going to suffer through it until I like it, and now anything else tastes weird.
Yeah, I still enjoy black coffee, but I would much prefer just a hint of smoothness to it.
Yeah.
Like it's not even the flavor, it's just to cut it slightly.
My daughter, though, watching her pour sugar in it, she's just like staring at it. I'm like, what are you doing? And she's like, there's got to be more in here. I'm like, do you want any coffee left in that? No cream, just
have some coffee with your sugar. Yeah.
Yeah. She likes sweet liquid caffeine.
Yeah.
Oh man.
All right, well, go grab your other beer, and
I'll be right back.
we'll figure out what we're talking about next. let's see here. Gosh. What's chat talking about? Coffee and Cynicism says, now I need to go watch Blues Brothers. That should be on your yearly watch list anyway. But yeah, Orange Whip, anything with John Candy should be on your yearly watch list. Let's see what else in chat. Michael says we do have to worry about radon if you have a basement. Yep, same kind of thing. Novella Hub says I had a radon test with my current house when it was inspected, worth every penny. 100% agree. We did the same thing. To mitigate radon in my house, the only thing that was required is leaving the HVAC circulation fan on all the time. We have a good enough filter system in this house, and then efficient enough HVAC that it pulls the air through and circulates the air well enough. We didn't have to add additional venting or anything else like that. But some places aren't as lucky. Sometimes you have to add, external inlets and outlets to your house to properly circulate. We simply on our thermostat, we have a setting for the fan, and instead of fan only when heating or only when cooling, we just said fan on, and so the air just constantly circulates. And that was enough. Beer while smoking meat at any time is the best. Yes. Anytime you're smoking meats, all bets are off. AM beer while smoking meat is the best. Okay, I'm reading those in reverse order. I get it now. Yes. God, if I could start a smoke at like 7 a.m. and also crack open like a nice crisp Pilsner, that is the best morning, in my opinion. Let's see. My yearly watch list includes Back to the Future. Yeah. My yearly watch list. Excuse me. Jurassic Park is on the yearly watch list. I've got Hackers on the yearly watch list. Back to the Future isn't on my yearly watch list. It probably should be. Speaking of cameras dying, you okay over there, Tom?
I clicked the wrong button. I meant to turn off my overhead lights. I accidentally clicked camera.
I looked down at my secondary screen. So my desk is kind of funny. I have dual monitors, but they're not in the way you would expect them to be. I have a 34-inch ultra-wide in front of me. And then I have the little Mac Mini dock that is the Mac Classic looking case with a 5-inch LCD on it that I'm outputting a 1080p display to. And so Zoom, when I'm on Zoom, I actually put the Zoom guest on that secondary screen, and then in OBS I just mirror that secondary screen over here. So I can throw a mouse cursor over the top of you, which is fun. But I've always got that as a secondary screen, and that's where I do all my screen cap too for videos and tutorials and things like that. But anyway, I look down, and Tom walks back into his office, and I'm like, okay, Tom's back now. And then he sits down, and then the camera goes black, and then it says no signal, and I went, oh God, Tom's camera died too.
Tom's camera died too. Good news, Tom camera didn't die.
It's not just me. A week ago, I was going, are there solar flares going on I should know about? Do I need to, like, wrap my... there you go. Oh,
I want to get a little fancy.
Oh,
I was
sir.
like, I don't want another beer. I got to wash the coffee out of my mouth. And what better way than with a nice, strong,
meaty... Lagavulin 16.
Yeah.
Sir. You have me feeling rather inferior at the moment.
I don't know how much this costs, but I need another bottle of it. I don't think it's cheap.
Jordan sends in $2.79 Canadian. Can you do a video on Meter? I would love to. The question is doing it right, because Meter is an infrastructure as a service company. In my house, can probably not test Meter accurately, because what do I have? 15 Wi-Fi devices, maybe 20? Right. I need to see Meter deployed in an environment with 3,000 users, and how are they handling handoffs, and what's their switching infrastructure look like, and what's their throughput, and what's the... It's not like... If a company that large exists, and you can read their benchmarks, and whenever like an ad for a company like Meter comes in, I will look at like consumer reports and user reviews and forums and things like that. What are people saying about them? And the overall thing that I see about Meter is we're happy with them. And I went, you know what? That's good enough for me.
Well, they're in at Microsoft. That's
Yeah.
one of the places they're deployed. They're a very enterprise company, and it's really hard, even for me, as much as I do some of that type of work. When someone's a sponsor, I can't review the products with any unbiased opinion.
If I do
They're
a Meter
sponsor.
video, I'm biased. That's how it's going to work. And that's...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's different with Ubiquity, because I've been using Ubiquity stuff, and like the camera video I did, not all the equipment was given to me by Ubiquity. There was a couple cameras in there. They gave me the AI key, but them sending me a product for review is not the same as a paid sponsorship.
Correct.
And this is where people get really, I don't know, they assume because a company sends me something that's automatically a sponsor, and it just doesn't work that way.
It doesn't.
'Cause, by the way, if you want to know my sponsorship rates, they're a lot more than the like $400 camera someone sent me. They're far more than that, like more than 10x that.
Yeah.
So you can't just send a camera, oh, I'm going to do a nice video because you sent me a couple $100 camera. I mean, maybe for a small time YouTuber, but there's bills to pay as you scale up.
Even
and
as a
this is
small time
live
YouTuber,
Yeah.
that and I've talked about this a couple of times. Like, oh, they sent you a 5090. Of course you're gonna write good things about it. Do you know what good a 5090 does me? It's the 71st graphics card on my shelf that's going to sit there on my shelf 50 weeks out of 52 of the year. It doesn't matter to me. I know that sounds weird and that sounds privileged or 1%y or uppity or whatever, however you want to describe it. If you work in a facility that gets access to some hardware, let's say you're a video production company, right? And Sony decides to send you their brand new FX9 camera for you to do a video shoot on. What does that FX9 camera do for your perception of Sony? Nothing. It's a camera. It's a tool. I use this tool every day in my job. It means jack all whether I paid for it or not. That's the review game. My job is to review, to be accurate, and the only currency I have in this business is trustworthiness of my audience. I could care less if AMD stopped sampling me tomorrow, or Intel, or Nvidia, or anyone else. Is this a great time to mention that I did get offered a 9950 X3D sample, X3D2 sample, and I declined it because I didn't want to review it. Memory prices being what they are, and enthusiast prices being what they are, like, I can't afford a $3,500 desktop right now, and I certainly don't want to talk about it right now. So I'm not blacklisted by AMD. I simply just declined the review. I don't know if some people got blacklisted or not. But when you're in the review business, ask gaming handheld reviewers what being sent another handheld means to them.
Yeah.
It means dick. To a gamer who's shopping for a handheld, if I got a free handheld, yeah, I'm going to think highly of that handheld. I got this for free. I didn't have to pay for it. Of course, I'm going to make it work for me. If I'm a reviewer going through the same slog of tests every single time a handheld comes in, it's work. It's not extra hardware. It's not, ooh, free thing I didn't have to pay for. It's literally work. And I am more than happy to tell companies to shove it. Or your claims don't match reality, or whatever else. And companies that respect my opinion send me hardware anyway. They're happy to hear that because it's feedback they wouldn't get from viewers or customers. I have a deeper understanding than most of their customers do. And so if I point out a flaw in something, I do it publicly, and they go, oh, we'd better fix that, whether through a firmware review or through a revision in a product later on down the line. That stuff gets listened to. And that's the whole point of reviewers like us exist. You know, I have a recent acquisition of a server that is a high dollar server. Yes, Supermicro provided the chassis. Do you know how I would have reviewed that platform otherwise? I would have borrowed the server and given it the same review, and then sent it back. Whether or not it sits on my shelf has no difference to me. Yeah, I used the server in this current video. Do you know what I would have done otherwise? I would have put the B70 in my Xeon 6 server, or I would have put it in my Epic Genoa server, or I would have put it in... Having the fastest CPU on the planet is not a one-time occurrence with me. This is like the 7th or 8th time it's happened. I can set world records by going out to my garage, and it's awesome, but it's work.
Yeah. It's what you do for a living.
It's what I do for a living, and having that server or not makes zero difference in my opinion of how that hardware works. If you're a car reviewer and you get a new loaner on a car, it's the same thing.
I was actually interested when I remember a few years ago watching some of the car reviews. They're interesting, especially the guys who they're not getting new cars or building hot rods. And I love this video this guy I watched a few years ago. It just made me laugh because he was talking about why, because people were complaining basically. He was into the older Fox body Mustangs.
Yeah.
And someone's just ripping on him. Man, you really overpaid for that Mustang. Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
It was set up really nice. And he says, absolutely, I overpaid for it. Let me show you something. And what he did was he walked through by buying it, even though he knows he paid too much. But the demand for a few years ago, like there was a bunch of people restoring the Fox body.
Yeah.
So it was like this arc of they became really popular and the price went up because of YouTubers and it becoming a thing to get an older one. So he says, yes, I overpaid for it. Here's how much I made on the 4 videos I made for it. He's like, I don't get to make the videos on this classic Fox body Mustang without the car. So I bought the car for too much. He paid $15,000 over what it was probably worth.
Yeah.
But ended up making like $80,000 in ad revenue.
Yeah.
Which also car channels make a lot more ad revenue. I mean, it's
They
crazy.
do. Yeah.
When they get into the sponsored stuff, I mean, you look at like Whistle and Diesel and some of those guys. I mean, it's how they're able to afford the craziness they do.
Yeah.
Is it pays a lot more than the tech reviewers. It makes Linus look pretty small, honestly.
No kidding. Yeah. No, the amount of money that's in AdSense on that side of things, just AdSense, is insane. When it comes to tech, we're kind of scraping the bottom of the barrel in a lot of instances. And I love people going, oh, you got this server, of course you're going to say good things about it. And my number one retort, and it sounds really snarky, but it's 100% true, my family can't eat DDR5.
Yeah.
I need to make money at a certain point. And I can't sell it. Yeah, and that's the other thing, is it's not even truly mine. Because even in receiving it and saying you don't have to send it back, it can be recalled by these companies at any moment, which means it's not mine. Which also means it's not taxable, which is kind of nice.
Yeah.
That there is an ownership retained by the original companies, because what if there's a critical flaw in the hardware that ends up starting a fire somewhere? They no longer want reviewers having those hardware samples. They will recall those hardware samples. That's happened a couple times to me. That's happened with a gaming handheld. That's happened with a graphics card. Where 3 years later, a company has said, we sent you this card, we need it back. And I go, okay, here's the card. I didn't sell it because it's not mine. You know what it was doing? It was sitting on a shelf with the other 71 graphics cards. I will say there is a benefit to being a reviewer. I get the hardware. I get to play with the hardware. I get to review the hardware, but I get to show the hardware off to you people who are interested in buying it, which means I get to make good recommendations. And that is how I build the channel, and it's how I build trust with my audience. If I give you wrong information, you will only take wrong information once, and you will leave and you will never watch me again. The only currency I have in this market is trust in the audience. And you see right through bullshit.
Now, because we're doing it differently, and I do appreciate this about some of the motorcycle channels, me and my friend started a motorcycle channel, and one of the things we're doing is, as we review stuff, it's everything we bought. We actually plan not to have anything sent to us because we're doing it for the love of riding motorcycles. We have other incomes. So we're not trying to, because once we build it as a business, it becomes another business to run.
Right.
So we're doing it for the love of the game, and we're going to do that. And there's a lot of motorcycle channels that do videos where they bought it. By the way, outside of buying the motorcycle directly, the gear is really not that expensive. That's not where you spend a whole lot of money.
Right.
Even when you wreck a motorcycle, I mean, I probably got about $400 in parts I need because we wrecked it. But like all the accessories and farkles we put on our bikes are not expensive items,
Right.
So it's pretty easy to just go buy them. Well, especially for the nature of what we're doing. There's obviously, we get into like the custom Harley baggers, there's expensive bags and silly stuff that I'm not into. I'm more into the off-roading gear, so I'm at least in a niche, because you also moto and moto camping kind of goes hand in hand. I have a camper, but my friend is into the camping gear. Although his tent was pretty expensive, I think it was like $800, but I realized once I seen him set it up, I'm like, well, that's why that tent's $800. That thing is kind of cool. It doesn't weigh anything, and it's really like the fabric is really cool, but you know, it's still not an insane amount compared to what a stick of DDR5 costs.
Right. I made a point in a recent video about the whole reviewer economy, because Supermicro sending me a server, cool. I appreciate that I have the server in my garage. I can go out and do more things with it. It allows me to make more content. And Supermicro gets a mention every time the server's on a video, but that's really, for lack of better words, it's kind of inconsequential to their business. Me having the server doesn't do much. What's funny is I reviewed recently this guy, the Elecom Huge Plus, the brand new trackball from Elecom. I have a relationship with Elecom. I reached out to Elecom and asked for a review sample. They ghosted me. They said no. So I went out and bought 2 of these at release. And I said in the video, if anything, I am more biased in this video than any other video, because I loved the first one so much that I bought 3 of them, and I just bought 2 of these sight unseen. I'm going to come into this more biased than any video ever. I love this mouse, and I will make no excuses for it. And I do love this mouse, and I daily drive this mouse. But I spent money on this product, and I am more biased about this product than I am about a Supermicro server with the world's fastest processor in it. And that's just human nature. That's who I am.
Yeah.
I liked something, so I paid money for it. Of course I'm going to like it.
But my human nature, I don't like trackballs. Sorry.
Yeah.
I won't watch a video of trackball. I've tried them. That was like, over the years, I've always had some friend, that weird friend that likes a trackball. Currently it's you. And I just never, every time I tried it, I'm like, this isn't me. This is not how we are meant to interact with the computer.
You know what's funny is Adam Patrick Murray over at PC World, he's also a trackball user, but he's a Kensington trackball user. He's the original like giant ball with the 4 buttons on either side. Okay. I hate that trackball. I can't stand that trackball.
Oh, so there's divisiveness in the trackball.
There's divisiveness within our niche, right? Exactly. We look at each other with disdain.
Yeah, such is life.
Cosworth sends over a $5 super chat. Thank you very much, Cosworth. Tom, I have recently joined the cult of Unify. I went back from trying to do VLANs with 8 different brands of network gear to an entire Unify network stack, and I love it.
It's not a bad cult. I'm just saying,
right.
It just works.
Right. Chill.
By the way,
chill.
You might have heard of a little company called Fortinet. You know, they're in the news once in a while for some security vulnerabilities. They're publicly traded.
Hold on, how do you spell that?
Bigger than them. Unify's bigger than them.
Yeah.
They just crossed their market cap. They've now exceeded Fortinet.
Mm-hmm.
So there's that. They sold more product than them, which is also pretty wild too.
Yes.
Should we mention Tim Cook got cooked?
Yes, we should mention Tim Cook got cooked. And in fact, I wasn't even going to talk about that because I really don't care about, CEO transitions or something like that. But a website called The Chaser, which is down in Australia, which, by the way, banger name for a news website. But I included this simply because 10 out of 10 no notes on the article title. Apple announces new CEO deliberately slows down old one.
The chaser, and I like that they leaned into that. So
I have found my kin. Okay.
yes. This is the new site Jeff didn't come up with, but should have.
So often I am talking to company reps, PR reps and things like that. And they're like, oh, so tell me about your channel. And, oh, I'm Craft Computing. I'm Jeff. We review Homelab gear and everything else. And but I'm also from Portland. And so every episode I open a craft beer. And the response I get from every single PR rep is, damn, I wish I'd thought of that. Like, yeah. God, that is a good pairing. Damn it, I wish I thought of that. Because
that's good.
That's so good.
I like it.
Yeah. But we weren't even going to talk about this, but the title did all the legwork for us.
The title did all the work. We don't care what the rest does not need to be.
Tim Apple Cook is on his way out. This one I made some jokes about earlier this week. Vercel AI. They're a software as a service company. They're Anthropic Cloud adjacent, I guess you can call them. Individual / business automation, AI kind of stuff. They had a breach this last week. They had a security breach with some data exfiltration. And they said, we are aware that some data left our network. We're currently investigating, yada, yada, yada. Okay, so we have an RCO now. We have a root cause analysis for the exfiltration. It turns out it wasn't the AI that did it. It was, potentially the AI that did it. Someone downloaded some Roblox cheats on an application, and it was a nefarious application, and it ended up accessing our root database and sending the whole thing out. Sorry about that. Which, if I was a software developer working on an AI product, I would totally blame the AI for downloading a Roblox cheat engine as well. But this is going to happen more and more.
Yeah. So Vercel is actually well known for, they're the builders of Next.js. So they built some cool products, very popular. And, in the past, hackers broke in. Then they started logging in by stealing our usernames and passwords, and now they OAuthed in. Because eventually, what the chain of events, like once they got the info stealer that came from the Roblox, that came from the thing, the final kill chain was they stole the OAuth creds. And if you've ever tried to set up Google's G Suite and do proper restrictions, well, you'll find that that's quite the challenge. Like we were talking about earlier, you don't see it done well very often unless you have a really good security team, like the folks over at Huntress, and they've done a great job of rolling it out.
Paid. Okay, you're good.
Yeah. But chill. But nonetheless, the challenges are how much token, what does that OAuth token get you, and what could it be escalated to? And they were able to escalate and get a lot of information out and get into the system that way. So it's really interesting. But yeah, it all starts with this minor small download thing and escalates all the way through to that. So it's just like the stupid crypto trading app that led to the compromise of 3CX. Not crypto, just stock trading app. Wasn't even crypto. It was sad. It wasn't even crypto. And then, or the guy running the Plex server on his laptop that had the keys. There's only 4 people that had the keys to log into LastPass. And the guy who's using that laptop with the keys to LastPass's kingdom of source code and access.
Right.
Running an outdated version of Plex publicly exposed.
Yep.
Because of course he was.
Yep.
Oh.
Yeah. There's so much now. There's so many applications. There's so many little tie-ins. There's so many cloud-connected things. And it's so easy, for lack of better words, to build an application that is designed to mimic one application while also stealing credentials and cookies and things from the other side. Tom, you've probably gotten these recently as well. Have you been getting calendar invites for overdue invoices in your Google Suite?
So what's really annoying to me about this is when you try to find the source of them, they're gone because they get marked as spam. But when they come in, they're able to create a calendar event before they get marked as spam.
And the calendar event stays even though the email with the ICS was marked as spam. Right.
That is, oh God, I hate that. I hate that.
Yeah.
So.
I got a couple of those today. And I've also been getting the Google Drive shares that have nefarious PDFs attached to them.
Yes.
That's been another one that's been going around. And so people are bypassing email as far as get this executable onto someone's machine, and they're using Google Drive to share files now. That show up as a standard notification through Google because it was shared through Google. It's a legitimate sharing mechanism. And how often do you share files with people outside your organization? I share the notes for this show with you outside of my organization every week. Like, you have access to that root folder. You get a share notification every time a new file is created.
Yeah.
That's how the system is supposed to work. But all of a sudden you can add anyone you want onto a nefarious PDF and simply say, share this with everyone. And when they open it, boom, I have your cookies and your credentials, and now I can access your YouTube channel. Fantastic.
It is. Have you been getting the podcast invites though?
I haven't gotten any podcast invites.
So there's a absolute, I'm done. I stopped blocking them because I'm now trying to figure out the commonality and trying to figure out the underlying goal.
Mm-hmm.
Almost every domain, and there's so far been a dozen of them, if not more. It's always a randomly generated domain. It'll have a name like Circle Turtle or something weird.
Yeah.
Like it's some words stuck together sometimes, or sometimes it'll be like, Circle Media, Circle this. It always has these weird words.
Yeah.
It always ends in .co. And it always has a extremely generic looking profile picture. They're not all the same. They're all generated for each one of these emails. So I was just blocking domains, and there's a new one coming up every single week. I get 2 of these. No more than 2. But 2's annoying because, hey, we'd really like you to be a guest on a podcast. There's never a website at the domain, ever. They don't have they're all using G Suite, every one of them, but they do not have the mail records set up fully. So Google has 6 mail records. They only have the first mail record, and they don't bother setting up the rest. Yeah. So I don't know what their angle is. I've never replied to one. I've been curious. Maybe I should. But man, they won't stop emailing me. We think you'd be a great guest on our podcast. And it's very generic. It's worded always a little bit different. So it's an LLM writing it. It's not consistently the exact same wording.
Yeah.
We think Lawrence Systems would be a great fit because you cover, it'll grab some of my recent topics I posted on YouTube.
Yeah.
Do some filler. But I have not figured out what their angle is other than there's no links. It just says, email me back. I don't know.
Weird.
They're puzzling to me.
Yeah.
I've been trying to figure out how to block them. Like, do a domain lookup on each one of these, or just, I don't want to block everyone that has a podcast that's sending things.
I would almost guarantee what they're trying, they're almost spear phishing you. And
That's my guess.
And so what I would guess, because I get similar ones for like, hey, we would like you to do an ad integration. Have you heard of Bethesda and their upcoming game Starfield? Like I get those emails all the time. And what they're trying to do is get you on the hook. So they send an introductory email. Hey, we think you'd be a great guest on a podcast. Let us know if you're interested. No attachments, nothing nefarious, nothing, but you've never heard of these people and you've never heard of the guests or whatever else. You email back and they go, okay, cool, let me just send you over a contract. And then they send you a PDF, and that PDF is the thing that you should be afraid of. This happened with me with, because I have business inquiries open on, like, my public contact is available on YouTube on the About page. And, I get inquiries all the time about, hey, we'd be interested in doing ads or integrations or anything else. And I got one claiming to be Bethesda, and we have an upgaming DLC for Starfield. And we think we'd like to do some content around the launch of that. We like your content. We know you do great reviews with hardware and gaming. You're very, very focused, and we like, all the expletives and whatnot you could possibly ask for. It was only after I responded and said, okay, well, here's my rate card and here's everything that I do. They said, okay, yeah, that all looks great. We'd love to sign up for like a two video integration, and we'll send over a contract. And then in a separate email, they'll send over a contract, and it's a PDF inside of a zip file. Aha! Yeah, now we're getting somewhere.
PDF.exe.
Right. doc.pdf.scr. Yeah. And I actually forwarded a couple of those to John Hammond because I went, hey, here's a new attack vector that, in particular spearfished. So I think he did a video on one of them, in fact. But that's what I think they're getting at, is they're trying to... It's less of a wide net and more of a, let's get someone on the hook who we know has something of value if we can access their account. And if we can get them to open this PDF, we'll be great. So you're never too small to be attacked.
No.
That is one thing a lot of people need to keep in mind is...
My pitch to clients all the time is the same thing. You're not too small to be attacked. You're definitely too small to make the news.
Yeah.
You're going to be a blip. I can't remember if I mentioned it here. This happened about 6 months ago. A security incident we worked. Local IT company hit. They were in bad shape. They were not prepared. No plan. Didn't even have insurance. 37 medical companies in my general area. You could draw a 30-mile circle around these companies. And that's a pretty small circle to take down 37 medical companies. And there was zero news coverage.
Yep.
So, yeah, it's a thing.
I was involved with an incident response for a couple of different organizations in my area that had been crypto locked. My organization got crypto locked twice in my tenure, and it was through invoice.pdf that someone opened because they received a blanket email. Hey, you have an unpaid balance on blah, blah, blah for Apple iTunes. Please click the invoice below and pay immediately, blah, blah, blah. We had one user who opened it up once, but we also have privilege-based access. And so his personal folder, his personal home directory on Active Directory got crypto locked, as well as the public directory that he had write access to, but it was fairly limited. Within about 20 minutes, we had completely mitigated and reversed because we also had snapshots enabled through ZFS. And so we could go, oh, let's go to 30 seconds before this happened. Done. Okay. Everyone good? Everyone's good. All right, cool. We had one user who was C-suite who insisted on having read-write access to everything. And I
always someone there
cried to high heaven, this is a really bad idea, especially because they failed our internal phishing attack not once but twice. But I got overridden by the CEO, and the CEO said, no, they need to have read-write access to everything. And I said, okay, cool, but it's going to be a problem eventually. Just letting you know. Here's the email with my signature at the bottom saying, I disagree with this decision, but this is your decision. I recuse myself from any personal liability in this particular circumstance. Lo and behold, 6 months later, I show up at work 7 a.m. Monday morning, and none of the files work. So I got to deal with that. But I did get to deal with some clients that we had that went through a similar thing. And too small to attack, right? Organization of like 45 people. And, maybe a couple $1 million a year in total revenue. Maybe, and most of that is payroll. Man, they lost like $130,000 out of accounts because they got access to their accountant's system, and they were able to wire money out of an account. Also, they lost all of their personally identifiable information of every single employee and client that they had. By the way, this was a medical center, so they had like 3,000 clients. They are now paying for identity protection for the next 30 years for every client and employee that ever went through their system.
Whew.
Because there's no way to prove that if someone's information is breached, it did not come from them.
At this point, don't we all just have unlimited identity protection? Because we're giving you identity protection. We were called, really, you're another breach. Ugh.
Thanks, Target.
Yeah. Thanks, Target. Fun times.
Yeah. You're never too small to attack. I'm not too small to attack, and I'm no one.
Should we talk about the Mythos stuff at all?
Yeah. I was curious on that one. So, Tom, tell us about Mythos.
So it's either the most dangerous and terrifying thing ever, or maybe it's a company that's planning to do an IPO soon saying it's the most dangerous and crazy thing ever. We can't release it to the world.
Wait, is this another shoe brand going all AI? What is this?
Yeah,
We talked about that last week.
yeah, which is great. I love that. I like that's just like the crazy. We're just gonna crank it up to crazy to 11, and we're just gonna manipulate things. And we're a shoe brand, now we're an AI company.
The absolute definition of a pump and dump. God, it was so good to watch in real time.
Absolutely great. So Anthropic releases. Well, no, release is not the right word. Anthropic introduces Mythos. Now, there's no doubt from many of my friends that work directly in this space that do bugs and finding problems in software that LLMs are very well suited for this, especially in the open source world because we have the source code. And you can send LLMs down all the paths at once. Go look through this code, follow the path of this code, look for common things that were done improperly, compare this to the OWASP list, et cetera, et cetera. Like, we know how to write good code, but the long tail of legacy means there's probably some bad code in there or some overlooked logic. And because it can just keep doing comparisons of these logic, it is good at finding bugs. Well, Mythos comes out. And what Mythos is a very dedicated thing, essentially, from, I don't know what to call it exactly, a thing that is being put together by Anthropic. And they said, whoa. We started testing this. It found bugs no humans have ever found. And here we've submitted them. We're following proper disclosures. We found 147 vulnerabilities in Mozilla, and we submitted them to Mozilla Foundation. We found a bug in FreeBSD that had never been found by humans. It's a 21-year-old bug.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of problem with the narrative, though. And where the cracks in it, and I think the article I had, and you don't need to pull that one up. I just love the title of it. Is The Boy Who Cried Mythos, and so I just like the title.
Yeah.
It's, once again, thank you, chef's kiss on the title.
No notes.
No notes. Yeah. So they said it's too dangerous to let all of you mere mortals pay a subscription and use this. Therefore, we're going to ration out access to the largest companies such as Cisco and Microsoft and the U.S. government. But the U.S. government one, as I understand, they didn't give it to all the agencies. They gave it to some of them and sniped some of them. I think CISA got left off the list and was a little upset, which made me laugh. Which, unfortunately, CISA's been so taken apart over the last year and a half that, well, we kind of forgot you guys existed. There's still the lights are still on over at CISA.
Yeah.
That's cool. You know, you're not funding NIST anymore like you were since that whole debacle, because if you didn't follow that, NIST is like, yeah, we're not going to do the CV thing, not like we were. We had too many submissions. But back to the whole Mythos thing.
Turns out they don't serve nearly as much beer as is required for the current administration over at CISA.
Yeah, they did not have the beer budget. It has been cut.
Yeah.
So, well, or it's been cut in favor of a beer budget somewhere else.
Right.
So that's probably a better description. So with Mythos, they're giving it out, and it's a lot of hype. And we've already found out some people got access to it that weren't supposed to have access to it, because apparently, despite Mythos's ability to find bugs that you haven't seen, if you haven't followed Anthropic accidentally making all their source code public through a series of dumb, and then also someone gaining access to Mythos that was supposed to have access to another series of model guessing and dumb, and they said it was a sophisticated group. It was some group of people in Discord poking at it, so it wasn't that sophisticated, it turned out. Like, they were clever, but they don't point it at themselves. the reality is finding bugs is only part of the problem, because guess what the budget is to find those FreeBSD bugs right now? It costs them, and this is what their own claim is, $20,000 in tokens to find a FreeBSD bug.
Yeah.
We know they're subsidized probably 10x. So that's $200,000. There's not $200,000 being put towards FreeBSD to find that bug.
No.
They're just not. This is part of the problem, is unearthing the bugs and spending $200,000 to unearth them. Cool. But first, you didn't solve the problem of how we're going to fix them. And we know there's more bugs. It's just a matter of time, of how much time people want to spend looking at them. And people only want to spend time looking at them when they have free time. And time ain't free. So we're kind of at this weird problem. Like, we spend billions on AI to build something that can cost $200,000 to find a bug that we probably should have been just donating money to find bugs for. So
Yeah.
it's a real crazy situation we're in, because people have also pointed out they've been able to find a lot of bugs with the basic models that are available now, and they only don't do it because, like, okay, cool, I found the bug. There's no bug bounty attached to it, so how much out of my pocket should I find chasing a bug that doesn't even have a bug bounty or anything? I can't recoup all the tokens I'm spending on it.
Right.
So it's a big challenge right now, and that's really how the AI bubble is going to kind of fizzle down, I think, is the costs is going to keep going up. You're not going to see as many vibe-coded self-hosted apps. Right now, you get these incredibly subsidized rates to build your application.
Yep.
If that application costs you $30,000 in tokens to build, you wouldn't be vibe coding it anymore. You would be concisely thinking about how precisely you use those tokens to build a really good piece of software, and then you'd have to figure out a way to monetize it, because that is a cost you would have associated with it.
And Michael took the words directly out of my mouth. What is the threat vector for these particular vulnerabilities? And it's one of those things, like, I don't mind a CVE being assigned a 10 because you can gain root access to every system, but if that root access requires physical access to a machine, you've already won. I think that downgrades it to an 8. And so, like, what is the bug? What is the actual severity? What is the actual impact and viability of said bug being in existence? And to not mince words, what's the actual value of mitigating it?
Yeah, especially when this kind of goes back to the FFmpeg problem, where FFmpeg told Google to go get bent because Google's Project Zero is like, we can use our LLM to find bugs. We found an obscure bug in FFmpeg, and everyone's like, cool. It was a library used if you're playing Nintendo music files.
Yeah,
it was something, it was obscure or something like that. I think it was Nintendo music files from NES. The MIDI files, if you played them through there, you could do some type of memory correction. Everyone's like, cool, who's doing that?
Yeah.
And also, who's going to give us money to fix it? That's a pretty obscure thing you unearthed there.
Technically a 9 because we can RCE, but also technically a 0.2 because the viability is 0.
Yeah.
So
the viability factor kind
choose your vector.
Yeah. And what we're seeing done with LLMs by threat actors is very different. They're not spending $20,000 looking for an O-Day. They're spending a few $100 and writing a really good phishing email.
Yeah.
and getting you to download some Roblox cheat codes.
Yeah.
That's what we are seeing.
Yes.
It's like, they're going, why do it the hard way? We just gotta, like, write a Roblox cheat code and buy a Google ad and someone will download it. We've seen a lot of drive-by downloads for fake versions of Claude through Google Ads.
Yeah.
Turns out that's a way cheaper threat vector than what they're doing over here with Mythos.
I get a lot of emails from ASIC.sk domain, which is, I guess, like a free Scandinavian. It's like Scandinavia's Gmail. And so you can spin up an email address as easily as you can spin up a Gmail address. But it's not Gmail. It's ASIC.sk. And so I get emails going, hey, this is Noel from NVIDIA. We've recently taken notice of your YouTube channel, and we would like to send you the latest NVIDIA graphics cards for you to review. How does that sound? And I'm like, you're not Noel. I know everyone at NVIDIA. You know nothing of their work. Like, it's so easy to look through those, but it's the XKCD comic of, oh no, they're using 4096 AES encryption. It's unbreakable via any means and any AI that we know. Damn it! Reality, here's a $15 wrench. Go break his knee and get the password.
Yeah.
Like, there are more efficient and economical ways of exploiting information than AI brute forcing CVEs that no one can ever actually exploit.
Yeah, and you know the I'm not as well versed on it, but it's actually something I was looking at because Hunters published it, which was they call it the railway attack, and it was really clever really clever tradecraft because they had used I love that. Yeah, such a good one there.
Classic.
But they were building infrastructure very quickly with LLMs that was very similar how, like you were saying, sharing things with Google. They were building infrastructure on the Google and AWS and Azure system in order to create very valid IPs for things to be able to, that's right, it was OAuth tokens they were generating. So there's a weird bypass. If you have 2FA on your Microsoft account, but you want to connect a device that is connected to your TV, there's a special path, a special class of tokens that can be generated for this. And most people, you should disable this, but it's enabled by default on the Microsoft account. And it's a way to bypass 2FA and kind of trick you into authorizing something once and getting full access to that person's account. It's really clever. It takes some really clever phishing. But the way they do all of this is the LLMs are able to understand the people, do really good back and forth phishing emails to be able to get these tokens and talk people out of it. That's what they're really using the LLMs for, is that. The criminal economy is being accelerated by it, not by finding bugs in the software, but the bugs in the humans themselves.
Yeah.
Actually, was a note, I think a year ago, LLMs have finally caused the Japanese market to see something they've not seen. So I never really thought about this, but Japanese is like a very secular area. Mm-hmm. Not a lot of people speak Japanese. A lot of people speak back and forth with other languages, but Japanese is a little bit of its own niche.
Yeah.
So the Japanese are very into themselves.
It exists in its own bubble, grammatically, phonetically, etc. Yeah.
So it turns out Russians don't speak Japanese. And so they don't really see the same level of cyber threats that we do. So they aren't as well hardened against them because people don't speak Japanese. So the LLMs have opened up an entire new cyber market because it allows people to understand the cultural. It's because it's not just a one-to-one language transfer. It's not just translate. It's the cultural norms you would need to get a phishing email in Japan. Yeah. So there's a really good article going. Japan's seeing some of the first cyber attacks that they just didn't have to experience in the same way because the language barrier.
Right.
There's almost any of these threat actors that are in the Russian area speak English. So we're easy targets.
Yeah.
And many of these other more modern ones that are all these kids running around, the Lapsus and Shiny Hunters, are all kids just willing to get on the phone, and because they don't have a foreign accent because they live in the U.S. and England, they're able to go wreak havoc. But people don't speak, I guess the criminal enterprise, there's not a criminal underground in the Japanese market that is doing ransomware. So we're slowly getting into the Japanese markets thanks to LLMs.
That is interesting. I never thought about large language models breaking down language barriers, but you're absolutely right. There are bubbles of the tech sector that do exist kind of within themselves. French is another one. French, well, a lot of the Germanic languages, German, English, Italian, etc., kind of share some roots. French kind of does sit outside of in its kind of own bubble. Japanese does as well.
Yeah, they're very different.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and someone mentioned the Yakuza. I mean, but I don't know.
But is the Yakuza doing ransomware? Like,
my understanding is they're not. Yeah. They have their own.
Maybe they should. Maybe it's time for the Yakuza to get Web 2.0'd.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what I don't know. I don't know much. Anytime I learn more about their culture, I'm always just fascinated by it because they're very different than us.
Yes.
And so it's very interesting.
Yeah. A couple more super chats. Cosworth sends over another $5. PSA: do not run glow-in-the-dark filament through Bamboo Labs AMS. I will now be buying an AMS 2. Lessons learned. Hashtag I ruined it. What did you... I don't understand. How did glow-in-the-dark filament ruin an AMS? Like, I know they're not hardened. I know you shouldn't run abrasive filaments through them. But...
maybe that's an abrasive one?
a roll of filament shouldn't ruin anything. What did you do? I need to talk to you in the after party. I'm curious. I have an AMS2 Pro. It's great. I also have some gripes, mainly around I can't use the heater while I'm feeding filament. Why the crap not? I bought it to be a heated filament extruder, so I could preheat my PETG. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah,
It glows in the dark too.
awesome. As someone who is currently assembling 3,600 individually printed 3D printed parts, I really don't want to look at 3D printed parts right now.
I was gonna say, this is not the smoothest filament. The glow in the dark does have like a grit to it.
Yes.
We went through a lot of it. I mean, it never messed with my printers that I was aware of. We printed a lot of things, including all these octopuses. This was our favorite thing to print that we gave away to people.
That's great. Yeah. I do a lot of structural parts. I don't print like trinkets and whatnot here in my office because I have enough plastic crap sitting around. But if I can find a bracket or a mounting thing to make my life easier, or to hang things on the wall or to secure things, that's what I'm all about. And so, oh, that's even better. Oh, I like that.
My employees would print the weirdest thing.
I am a fan of that.
It doesn't really have a purpose. It just is cool.
Right. I think I need to print one now. So I do a lot of PETG, but filled PETG filament. And so I use a lot of glass filled, so fiberglass filled PETG. It is super strong. It is super resilient. That's what the OpenViro temperature probes are coming printed it, is glass filled PETG. Because it is rigid yet flexible. It's not brittle. It's not going to break. It's also not going to deform unless you throw like 80C at it. And if your room is 80C, you have more problems than my temperature sensor can help you with. So there's that. But how did a roll of glow-in-the-dark filament ruin an AMS? I don't know. That's weird. I have a couple face huggers. In fact, I printed the fridge magnet face huggers, and so we have one of those on our fridge, and it's 3x scaled. It's this big.
These are great.
It's this big.
Oh, nice. Those are great.
It sits on my fridge upstairs. It's amazing.
I do sometimes just sit here with it on my face because why not?
Yes. Also, Jeff needs to do a Honda Ridgeline video. I don't have a Ridgeline, nor am I going to buy one for the channel. So if you're donating yours, I'll accept it. I'll put it in my driveway, and I'll do a couple videos with it. But, I mean, that's the going rate for a sponsored video.
Yeah. Send me a Honda Ridgeline. I'd like
Give
to
me a
review
Honda
it.
Ridgeline. I would be more than happy to review your dash inlays.
Yeah. I think the last story we'll cover, because it's another one of those this is the world we live in now type things.
Yeah.
As I understand what's going on here, apparently you can get through, am I saying it right? Is it Hormuz?
Yeah, Strait of Hormuz.
Strait of Hormuz. Apparently there's a pay-to-play game where, if I understand it correctly, the Iranians said they'll accept crypto, and if you pay a fee, you can go through.
Yes.
Well, apparently a ship paid the fee to a scammer and then thought they could go through and got shot at. So, crypto scam lures ships and Strait of Hormuz falsely promising, and they don't know they were falsely told they could go through here until they get there. Like they paid money to go, just not to the right people. So this is where we're at. There is so much shenanigans going on everywhere we look. It is insane right now. It is And I don't even know who you would complain to on this. Like, who do you call? So I got crypto scammed by these people that said they were the Iranians and want the Iranians, but I already transferred all the Bitcoin to them. And undoubtedly, it's the South Koreans, because if there's Bitcoin involved, that I would say there's only one country that understands crypto, because there's always these every time I'm hearing those obscure, complicated crypto things that I'm struggling to understand. And the only reason I'm even reading about it is because the North Koreans robbed them. Like, that's always the end story is, well, like, how'd this work? Well, they came up with this idea for smart contracts that only work if you do this thing where you stand on your head and you spin a thing around 7 times and you 3D print a face hugger. And then you can actually do this smart contract transaction.
Mercury's in retrograde. There's swamp gas reflecting off a weather balloon from Venus. Like it's a whole thing. And then, long story short, we took $7 million.
Yeah, and when it was all sudden, the North Koreans took $7 million out of this account. Actually, the more recent one was really impressive. I read by the North Koreans. I think they spent $1 million on this operation. They met IRL with these people and everything. Like, they went through back and forth. They were doing this company partnership. They finally got the whole key to it was building a year's worth of trust, almost $1 million in. Fake companies and everything. They stole $280 million though, so the payoff was there. But they got the developer to load some tool, sideload some tool that said, "Hey, we got a beta of our product thing. We want you to test." Loaded it, boom. That was the hook. But it's like a year of ops with these people, leading them along, spending money, investing money into this company that does transactions. Like, once again, a whole series of complicated things going on that I'm like, what is it? I don't even understand exactly the product they're doing. Oh, I know the goal though. It was North Koreans taking $280 million. Yeah. So,
I used to have a running joke with a colleague of mine. I hired him to do all of my network stuff, and I did all the hardware stuff. So I would do all the scope deployment and what is actually necessary, and he would do all the network configuration and on-the-ground deployment. And our relationship worked very well. But constantly we would read these stories about, hey, these couple of guys bought a bunch of video cards and put them in some computers, and they made like $80 million in crypto in like 7 weeks or something like that. And I would look over at Josh and I would say, we are in the wrong business. And that was a common thread. And so I feel like, Tom, I can look at you and I can say the same thing. We're in the wrong business, buddy.
We're in the wrong business. Working too hard, making these YouTube videos.
Yeah. We are grinding away at something that will never fulfill us.
But we don't have to live in North Korea. So
but I don't have to live in North Korea. There is a silver lining.
There's some perks of this job. Not living in North Korea. Not having to say, well, dear leader. No, I think that we're on the way to saying that.
I mean, we're halfway there.
Halfway there. We need a pump and dump craft computing coin.
Look, if you guys want to send me money, I'll just skip the middleman and we won't even do a coin. You can just send me your money knowing that it's going to a good cause. Knowing that you will never get a return. Isn't that better than wishful thinking? Patreon.com/craftcomputing.
Just send money direct.
Just send money direct. It's way easier.
No, I commented earlier, I just noticed because I pulled it up over here. OrphanView. I loved OrphanView forever ago. It still exists. I see someone mention it. Yeah. I was like, I've been a Linux guy for a long time, and when I switched to Linux, that's when I quit using OrphanView.
Yeah.
I'm happy to see it still around and still getting updates.
I used that actually semi-professionally. We had I managed a haunted house, and for about 7 or 8 years we did Disneyland style photos inside the haunted house. So you would walk through, we had a camera positioned in the haunted house with a flash and everything, and it was timed with the scare. And so we would take your picture, Disneyland, Splash Mountain style, and you'd come out and you could see your photo and we'd sell you your photo. On the machines, gosh, this is dating me. We had iMac G3s running OrphanView. So they would auto refresh as the pictures came in but we could also bring up a full screen preview on a secondary monitor. And so behind, we were running IrfanView, and we would double click the file, and it would send the full screen preview out to the customer facing monitor.
Nice.
Because that was one of the only programs that could do that without building a custom application. And I don't know if you knew, but 20 years ago, I couldn't vibe code that crap. So, IrfanView, yeah.
IrfanView.
Worked great.
We reached the end, sir.
We did. We have reached the end.
Because there's no more... The bottle's empty.
Yeah, the bottle's empty. My glass is empty. I'm feeling a hankering for scotch all of a sudden. I don't know where that came from.
It's the best way to finish the evening.
I am out of scotch at my house. I have some whiskey. I do, however... I can't hold on.
Jeff is about to show us some unusual bottle here.
I keep in my collection an infinity bottle. It looks about like this. It's a globe, and it sits on a little pedestal, and it sits at the top of my shelf up there. And what you do with an infinity bottle is when you get down to the last couple of ounces of a bottle of whiskey, you donate those couple of ounces to the infinity bottle. And then when you donate a couple ounces, you can also take a couple ounces out. But this is an amalgam of every whiskey that I've had over the last 7 years. And it's great because if I don't like a bottle of whiskey, I don't add it to the infinity bottle. If I do like a bottle of whiskey, the last couple ounces go in here. And this becomes your ideal whiskey. This becomes the whiskey that is just the flavors you like and none of the flavors you don't. And it's great. I think I'm going to dig into the infinity bottle tonight. I think I'm going to have a couple ounces of the infinity bottle.
But that's not the same as scotch.
It's not. There's some scotch in here. There's some Jameson Gold in this bottle. There's some Magnus Scotch in here. I know there's some Lafroig 14 in here. There's some Elijah Craig small batch rye in here. There's all kinds of stuff in here, and it's all the flavors I like and none of the flavors I don't.
Nice. Well, we will leave everyone with that then.
So I'm going to have some Infinity Bottle in the after party, which you can get access to joining the Patreon, patreon.com/craftcomputing. That is the only way to get access to my Discord server. It is not a public Discord server because the Patreon serves as the moat to keep the trolls at bay. So if you want access to the Discord, get on the Patreon. Give me $1 and you can talk to me. But it helps keep the community nice.
Yes.
Yeah. Other than that, Tom, what do you got coming up? Anything interesting next week or two?
Nothing particularly, just I'll be at some events coming up for those that are in the MSP space, and this is just events I'm going to. It has nothing specifically to do with Huntress.
Right.
MSP Geek. I have a few hacking events. We're submitting a call for papers for doing a talk about when the AI rewards take us over. It's a talk me and my friend are working on, so It's going to be kind of fun. What happens when you surrender control of the robots to you and then the robots turn on you? It's a fun but realistic scenario of security talk.
Yeah.
We're hoping it gets taken. We got lots of memes and lots of Terminator references.
Excellent.
We've seen how this ends.
Yeah. I mean, there have been movies made about this exact scenario dating back 35 years. So, yeah.
Yes. It's a common thing. So, other than that, I'm easy to find as always over all the Lawrence Systems properties and on the socials.
Excellent. Well, this has been Talking Heads, episode 430, brought to you by Meter, meter.com/craftcomputing. See what they can do for your business. Link is down in the video description. Other than that, thank you all so much for watching. We're on every Wednesday night at 6 p.m. Pacific time for the latest in beer and tech news right here on YouTube. Subscribe to Tom Lawrence, subscribe to Craft Computing. Links for those are also down in the video description. And as always, we'll see you next week.